Hello everybody, this is episode 6 of my playthrough, Slice of P DLC Overture. Today, we're going to a new area. We're finally done with the research zone, I think. In the last episode, we defeated a boss, and for that, we got the ciphering machine or cipher machine, something like that. And now we're taking it back to Hotel Krat. If you remember, the tracker at the end of the fight told us that we could see him there now, from now on, like that he would be here.
You made it out of the underground facility. I'm glad you're okay. Speaking of which, I see you have an alchemist's cipher machine. These are devices used to store confidential information. Decrypting it should reveal what the owner is hidden, but it requires a matching key. Luckily, I found a few during my travels. If I might, I will take it off your hands. I can't offer anything in exchange, but if I can unlock it, we could gain valuable insight about the alchemists. We share a common enemy, so I would like to offer my cooperation. Any enemy of the alchemists is a friend of mine. Come to me anytime. I'm unsure if I should even tell you this. Leia suffers from the petrification disease. She hides it from the world, but she can't fool me. I have no idea how long she has left, but for someone like her, it is a wretched, tragic fate. There's very little to be done to help her. It is frustrating. Since Leia and I are not strangers to one another, I have been seeking a cure, but so far to no avail. The official statement is that the alchemists are developing a cure, but I would be wary of any help they offered. Perhaps a true cure will be found someday, but there is nothing we can do for her right now. I gave Leia painkillers that help her endure the worst of the disease. Regardless, it must be difficult. Please help her by fighting at her side. In this moment, what she needs is an ally. Have you seen what's behind the hotel? Another tree that bears gold coin fruit. I believe the alchemists are attempting to reproduce this tree. Perhaps, I hope anyway, this tree is linked to the cure. I did some investigating on my own. As I suspected, Romeo's disappearance is linked to Leia's history. Perhaps you don't know. Long ago, Leia neutralized an infamous killer puppet. This act may be part of its revenge. At the moment, we know nothing of this puppet's whereabouts. That is what troubles me most. Look into the name, Arlecchino. I worry about Leia. This may be a fight she cannot face alone. If you can, please lend her your strength. Let's unlock it and see what's inside. We're in luck. It still functions. This reminds me of a tale I once heard about the ghost crocodile that haunts the zoo. Most people thought it was an urban legend, but I'd always found it troubling. Find the mounted crocodile at the zoo. It might provide a clue.
So, several things right away in the episode. By talking to the tracker, we learned that Leia has the petrification disease. That's why we saw her in that cutscene in the last episode. She was struggling. He also said he gave her painkillers. She dropped one behind. He is looking for a cure as well. He's trying to help her by looking for a cure. maybe that's why he was near the gold coin tree in the facility earlier, or he thinks that he suspects, like I do, that the alchemists are after the gold coin fruit as some way of curing the disease. He also says that the best thing we can do for Leia right now is to help her. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do. Just go fight with her, you know? Maybe we'll find her eventually. He talks about Romeo and his suspicions that he might have been trying to help with something of Leia's past as well. It's interesting. Now, onto the trophy part of the conversation. He tells us about the cipher machine, and we decode our first cipher text. It's a very interactive trophy because you get the ciphers, you go to him to decode them, you decode them, and then you go to the place that they talk about, you find the truth, and then you come back, you talk to him about the truth. More or less. It progresses his quest, and you get a trophy at the end for deciphering all of these sort of documents. Now I finally have my answer for the mouth of the crocodile. We knew this for a while, but only now you can do it. It says, decoded bloody cipher machine. Target neutralized. No notable actions observed. Taxidermy secured in excellent condition as ordered. You are now the sole master of the zoo. Congratulations, Lady M. This kind of reveals already that Marchiona ordered the death of the zoo guy, the disappearance of the zoo guy, but we can go and explore it ourselves. I'm very fond of this particular trophy. It was exciting. Oh, look at the kitty on the right side. Did you see that? How did I go by so fast? I'm gonna sit in the chair and check if I have anything in my pee organ. You know, I think this was easy enough that I could go in and upgrade it without thinking too much, without mixing too much, and not be distracted from the story. I really like immersing myself in the story, and sometimes I neglect maybe using more things or exploring a little more. Now, peep, whenever it finishes loading, take a peep at my levels. I have 66k ergo, and I have not leveled up. Don't be like me. If you have 66k ergo, just put your levels on. That's probably 3-4 levels. For depending on where in your journey you are. Yeah, we get a reminder of the bloody cipher. Nothing new with it. It's just, you know, to tell you that you're in the right place. The game is very kind about its secrets. It doesn't want you to struggle a whole lot to find them. And, you know, it sort of hides its lore in a way that it's still fun, but that the average player is also not gonna leave the game without knowing anything if they don't want. I was trying to remember where was the cipher area. Now, of course, I couldn't remember and I went the wrong way. Let's see if I have learned anything from the last time I was here. Oh yeah, I didn't die. Now, obviously, I'm starting to trip thinking, is it this way? Is it not this way? I'm still going the wrong way. But now I realize it's on the other side and I finally start backtracking maybe. A little lost, but with my heart in the right place. Oh, speaking of the gold coin fruit tree as we were earlier, I was thinking while editing the last episode that gold also has like alchemical properties to alchemists in history, like throughout history. People who believed in alchemy and who, you know, treated it as a science, they treated gold as the maximum of their beliefs, like the final element, I guess. Here's the croc. Here's the confession crocodile. Necropsy report. The likelihood that the crocodile consumed human flesh is low. I found no human tissue or blood between the reptile's teeth or within its gular fold. The reptile's throat was free of fibers that human clothing would have left behind. Furthermore, the wound on the colonel's corpse is inconsistent with the bite of a crocodile. In light of these facts, it is highly unlikely Rex the crocodile killed Colonel Little. I conclude this incident was in fact murder. Some writing is scribbled below the report. I should have known something like this would happen the moment they took interest in the zoo. If this note is read by someone of good and just character, please reveal the truth to the world. In my cowardice, I cannot. If this message gets buried away, I pray a great curse befall those alchemist parasites. I wonder what specifically was it about the zoo that the alchemists took an interest on. Obviously, Markiona wants to be in here. She retreated to this area, but yeah, it's curious to me. Now we can go back and report to the tracker on everything that we learned. Hopefully also level up. Yeah. Finally, we're reaching, the final levels on what we wanted to upgrade, and then moving on to technique again. That was quite a few levels that I got out of that. I can't complain. The Stargazer is marking that the tracker wants us, and there is a little more yapping to be had. I think maybe Markiona liked the environment and she wanted to be there to experiment freely. But why the zoo of all places? I don't think that is quite well explained. Hey, the kitty!
Any enemy of the alchemists is a friend of mine. Come to me anytime. You investigated the mounted crocodile? So, Colonel Little was murdered. Most likely the taxidermist as well. To do something like this just to take control of the zoo. It seems human lives are nothing but tools to them. I'm glad you revealed the truth to their lies. You are a force for good. I am honored by our continued partnership.
I always thought that it was interesting how the tracker was in pursuit of truth, like reporter Medoro was. It kind of makes you wonder if that's, somewhat related in the quest. I think I've read that reporter Medoro is rather Klaus due to a review that he leaves in the hotel, but I don't know, something about the tracker wanting to reveal the truth to Krad and going around in a rather passive way instead of fighting. I mean, obviously he has to fight a little to get to where he's got, but we don't see him being like a primarily fighting entity. He's pursuing truth primarily, and as a side quest, he's fighting. Right? Maybe it's 50-50, honestly. We're back to where we killed the boss last episode and entering the new area where we triggered the cutscene. There's a little bit of a snow theme to this one. And right ahead we have a stargazer and a known face. Now how come this person is here past the previous boss with no harm? I always wondered.
Well, if it isn't the lad who stalks the legendary stalker. I didn't see you there. Are you hurt anywhere? No, you're not. So very glad to know you are unharmed, my good fellow. Like me, surely you've heard of the tragedy of the Zelator underground facility. Such a loss. And Veronique, to think she met such a horrible end. It rends my very heart in two. We disagreed on nearly everything, but there was respect. And on her part, greatness. I must know. Did she say anything to you before she died?
I decided to lie here.
Did the medicine claim her sanity and finally drive her mad? I am truly sorry to hear that. A heroic end, but such a tragedy. The Rose Estate. Ah, you are perhaps seeking the Alchemist tram. There was a tram here once, a long time ago, but it was deep underground. Deeper than here. You can keep looking for it, but that tram to the Rose Estate's been out of commission for ages. I had assumed Veronique's Vanguard took it down for, permanent maintenance. But you might yet be in luck. If you're looking for a route to the sea, take this. This key was given to me by an alchemist before he expired. He claimed it opened a secret passage to the coast. You can get more use from that key than I. Just past the ruins of the tram station, you'll see an entrance. Not sure why I held on to it. I just had a feeling it could be useful to someone. This is alchemist territory. One might say this place is where all the ergo we use comes from. But the alchemists found something else underground. Something so dangerous, most of them fled. They'd say, retreated. Only mining puppets left in there now, still working away. But that doesn't make it safe. Let caution be your watchword. Me? I had some things to look into, investigating this and that. As it happened, I took a rather pointless detour. But I'm still doing my best, trying to, do something good. Veronique was my rival. But was she a hero? Yes. And did seeing her lead me to self-reflection? Yes, it did. And as I reflected, I've learned I simply do not have the courage for, self-sacrifice. I'm no hero. There is no greatness within this coward's body. It seems I'm really nothing like her. Oh, I've only heard rumors. I certainly haven't seen it in person. I've heard alchemists found it sealed away in the ruins deeper underground. Now, I don't buy this, but my sources claim the discovery was alive. But not human. Perhaps that is why the alchemists seem to have cleared out. Did you say Arlecchino? Where did you hear that name? The blood artist. The puppet the legendary stalker hunted down to earn her title. His true name was Arlecchino. Of course, I've heard plenty of rumors. In my profession, how could I not? What I know for certain is that once Leia Florence brought him to heal, the alchemist took him. Where? Who knows? All records of Arlecchino and the blood artist have disappeared. One might even call it suspicious. Sadly, that's all I have for you.
He talks to us in a way that should raise a few flags, but he gives us a key to proceed ahead. He also warns us of a few dangers ahead. It's not completely negative, but at the same time, he's also a self-confessed coward, comes across as quite a selfish character. There is a bit of complexity in there. He seems to know quite a bit about the alchemists. He seems to know about the area we're in, he says, is a mine where all of the airgoing crap comes from. He says that the tram at the end that was supposed to carry us to the Rose Estate is no longer in use. And he gives us a key to take an alternative route. Now, me personally, a thing that I find interesting about this route that we're taking is that the Rose Estate was like a charity place, right, in Krat. It should have been accessible from some other way than going through these very private areas of the city. Maybe everything is semi in disarray and there was no other route for us to take. But in terms of suspended disbelief, this was the part where I was like, it's really the tram at the very end of a very important mine for the alchemist. The only way to get to the Rose Estate seems convenient. So the tram is broken. He blames Veronique for the tram being broken, actually. I don't know if that's the truth or not. But yeah, I decided to lie to him. You feel warmth from that, as usual. And we proceed. An all-weathered key is worn smooth from frequent use. Although the key is made of bronze, it shines like gold, having been well worn by countless hands through the ages. It has been passed from person to person through many routes, much like a troublesome problem. The description itself as well doesn't bode very trustworthy for Lumacchio, leader of the bastards. But for now, he's fine. He is giving us useful information, and what else can we do? This area here ahead was quite something.
You could say we found a silver lining. Because it's, you know what? Never mind. Mind. Nice to know the tram's not the only way out, huh?
It had those cute little dogs that we sure love. You have a shortcut here as well. Yeah, if you were a fan of the dogs in the base game, who wouldn't be? They're back and better than ever. Down at the bottom there is also new type of friend for the DLC. It's like a vacuum maybe. It throws things, is kind of tanky, has long arms, it stomps them in the ground. Yeah, you'll see a lot of these around. They have different functions. There is like the pickaxe one, the throwing one. That parrying was quite something. They're not too tanky, but they can be overwhelming. Another new type of enemy is this machine I just killed. It like carries electricity. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It carries electricity throughout the ground, and the electricity itself really kicks you. It takes a lot of health. It's like constant chipping of health because it's like an AoE like happening in the ground. He's like zzz, and it just keeps going. That final overwhelmed corner gets me, and rightfully so. So I have to do the run back again and take a look at what I do instead. Yeah, I just I could say many things about myself to excuse that, but I don't think I need to. It happens to the best of us. I just thought it was the right way to go. What can I say? I'm sorry. I actually have very bad problems with depth perception. Anyway, I'm zooming through what we have already done to put you in the same place that we were before. Here you can see the guy doing the thing in the floor, by the way. He's not too bad to kill, but it wasn't too much of fast forwarding. Now we're in the same place. We have the little tankard throwing crap at us. We get our vengeance on it. But we have less ergo than we had last time because I died at the hole of the elevator. Pay no matter. We are proceeding. Anyway, these pickaxe robots are everywhere, and so are the clanking against the wall. Just wondering if you could jump really anywhere here. I don't think the cat ring even can save this, right? An exploding dog. Because why not? And right ahead, a little secluded area with a new character that we get to see.
You can't hear me. I saw you flinch. Hello. Yes, you, my handsome friend. Surprised? Don't be. This puppet isn't really me. I'm, well, puppeting this one, you might say. Sadly, it appears to be malfunctioning. You found me in quite a bind. Though again, not really me. But I suppose it's fate. You and I, meeting in a place like this. So, might I ask a favor, friend? That is, the real me, I'm, well, trapped. Though I don't know where. It's terribly aggravating is what it is. And embarrassing. Why did my colleagues abandon me like this? Anyway, can you come find me, friend? Just venture a bit deeper into the ruins. But be careful. We don't want you to get stuck somewhere as well. It's terribly aggravating is what it is. And embarrassing. Why did my colleagues abandon me like this? It's terribly aggravating is what...
So this guy is telling us that he's trapped somewhere and we're gonna help him if we can. He's using the robots throughout the place somehow, so some robots that he can access to communicate with us, but he's not really there. And we do know that ergo can pass on from body to body while remaining, so it makes sense how he would be doing it. We have a stargazer and an area that's going to make you want to, I don't know, it's going to make you want not to play for a little bit, I think. It's just a really dense area full of enemies, and a lot of the choices here don't make a lot of sense. Obviously it's a mine, so maybe there is a lot of workers and whatnot, but oh, it really grinding my gears to have so many enemies and some of them throwing rocks at you. It was just too much. The guy throwing rocks, you seen those rocks, how much damage they do? How is that fair? I'm going to have to do some serious editing around this part, and I'll let you know what I end up doing, because I think I struggle quite a bit to transit this in full, but I still want to show you everything I picked along the way. There is Little shortcut to the left you cannot access yet, but once you can access it, the worst is past. Now you think you're done with him, but accessing this next area of the mine, he still can throw rocks at you. And there is a lot of people here who would also want you. I don't even make it to show you all the people that are there before I die. But I have realized that these electrical machines are the worst, so now I'm pretty much targeting them first. Again, once everybody is on top of me and the rock guy is getting too annoying, I get out of there. Those rocks are basically my whole health pool. They take a heal and some. The whiff doesn't help lock in. But the string does help a little. It clears what I have here for now, and time to go back in. See what's ahead. You think the worst has passed? The worst hasn't even started, matey. Let's do this little guy, since we can. Two of those things throwing rocks at once, a dog on the right side as well, and an exploding one to surprise you. Yeah. How would you like that? An irritating area. Commencing a strategy that I'll be calling run past everybody and hope for the best. Here is how that is going. I tried to kill the rock people first, now thinking, well, maybe that's a good way to go. But I forget that there is bombs everywhere here and that everything is going terrible all at once. It's not a place where you wanna run in and out and regret your moves and whatnot. The electrical was eating my life away. So many people here, such little time. Now the other rock guy is throwing rocks at me. What would you do in my position? This is one of the areas of old time. I don't think there is anywhere else with this many enemies in the game, or with this bad of an enemy in the game. And you know, they kind of added some portions, I guess, in the game that are run portions, it seems to me. Is run the right word? More like it's more encouraged to not kill every enemy. I wouldn't say that this is a part where you're supposed to do everything. I think that's very much a me thing rather than an actual good thing that you should be doing. I was robbed of my backstab and I died for that. How unfair is it to be selected as the worst log of all time in this game? There's a few deaths in a row around here. I'm putting all of the ones that have no meaningful contribution without editing. And here's my winning mess strategy. I don't recommend it. This is more of a... I didn't want to lose my ergo because I had quite a bit of it. and the rest of it is like, I don't know, try my best. Somehow I didn't die in any of that, even though I was very close to. My heals were not really healing very much. I had break on, I had dogs on me. Surviving every step of the way, but barely. Very low health. And a troop of folks chasing me only to whiff. How is that fair? The string helped a little there. The bomb was freaking me out, but I rolled correctly. Now time to clear the final guys that have followed me up here. All the way to the Stargazer, so much so that the Stargazer is not even turning on, by the way. I went in, tried to do something, and just went for it, and it worked. Okay, most people are dead now. And it's just me and the devil. And by the devil, I mean the guy throwing rocks. Oh, and this electrical guy as well. Go figure. He's done down quite quickly. The rock guy will literally not take a fucking break, mate. Ugh. It's irritating me even watching it. This was so bad. We have the dog. That almost killed me. The panic was real. And I think that's it for the enemies in this part. I think I just have to go and kill Buckethead. Can I do it though? I learned that they have a backstab and now it's my favorite way to get him. Alright. I can open the shortcut. And I can also pick the items around the area, which I had saved for my winning attempt in case the editing was atrocious to get done. It was a good decision. Nothing here behind these boxes. You can see a little something in the distance of the level. Good level design. We have a throwing cell and an advanced crank that you can pick from the ground. And on the other side, a half moonstone. Was that worth that many enemies, do you think? I don't think so. Do not make the mistake of going back to the Stargazer. You open that shortcut like it's the only thing you need to do in this life. It will save you so much trouble. My personal recommendation, if you're not a pain in the ass trophy hunter, I have to see every nook and cranny in the game type of person, is that you just run and open the shortcut. The shortcut is good. The shortcut is there for a reason. Here's a surprise for you. A mini bus. Fire is not the best thing for this guy, but we do what we can, right? I have very few heals and I honestly kind of didn't want to win in here. I wanted to go in fresh, right? With full health on him and learn his moves better. So I died there and I go back and I have another death with him, but learning a little bit more, seeing a little bit more of his moves. So then afterwards, I can go in with a little more knowledge, and that's when I change my grinder stone to electric because it seems more useful to get him that way. And I go in, I take my time. Honestly, there might be a couple of panic rolls regardless of any practice and attempts that you do, because he just plants random bombs in the ground. So sometimes you gotta play the bombs and just roll away when you can. while you're doing the string, the bombs might trigger, so you also have to keep that in mind. Doing the special, bombs might trigger as well, just like they did there. It wasn't too bad. I actually liked it, but it certainly had a little trick to it, a little gimmick maybe is the right word. I don't think you can parry bomb AoE from the floor, by the way. Don't quote me on that, but I wouldn't try it. Once you get the visceral, you know the game is won after that. You grab a Fable Catalyst and also a Genius Legion plug for your trouble. Nothing behind the waterfall, sadness. No secret behind the waterfall, but some goodies in there if you were looking to upgrade some things. I'm going back to Hotel Krat with what I have. And crafting my final Legion arm of the DLC. Now, you will not be getting a trophy for Cataclysm, but it is part of collecting all of the weapons in the DLC. The trophy in the DLC includes boss weapons, regular weapons, and Legion arms. So instead of being separated like for the base game, they made a trophy for all of the categories. Moving on, we are going to be leveling before it's too late. What I'm focusing now, once again, is my vitality and my technique. Trying to get them to 60, maybe, eventually. Obviously, these are really high levels, but it's also New Game Plus. So if by some chance you're doing this in like 2 playthroughs, or this is your first playthrough of Lies of Peace and you're doing it alongside the base game, just keep in mind your levels might look much different, areas might be much harder. I personally recommend doing it all together in New Game Plus. That way you don't have to play it twice. But, you know, it's up to you, and it's up to how you want to experience it as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to run through that shortcut now and not have to deal with anybody in the area. Once you have killed the mini boss, there's also no enemies in this room. Very peaceful, gorgeous. Right ahead, you have a hymn for the zealots. In death there is birth, in change there is evolution. We have faced the storm, survived calamity. On this path of ascension we found our destiny. The two-faced overseer, forged from the flesh of the ancients, was but a trial to prove the truth of our impending ascent. The two-faced gives way to a masterpiece, a warrior monstrous and strong, a great champion to fight for the order, to save the right from the wrong. We brought that force of nature to heal, subdued and chained it with iron and steel, refusing to be the elixir's vessel. It broke itself, but it could not break free from its chain, and so we sculpted it to our will. Now it's forever bound to witness this song of zealotry, and fated to be chained below for all eternity. For here For herein lies the providence of sacred evolution, and may none break the order's volition, and nothing can stop the fate of ascension, for God has granted this mission. It's a good poem, first of all. It's well written, the rhymes are good, and metric could be better, but it's alright, okay? What I'm saying is like, it flows well. Maybe it's just rhymed, no metric. How about that? Anyway, we get from this poem a couple of interesting things. Number one is the confirmation, like I was telling you in the last episode, that the two-faced overseer is actually a prototype for Champion Victor, and that's why some of his moves are similar while having a weapon, if that makes sense. It's like his turnaround is similar, his strength is similar, the stomp to the ground is similar. There is a line there, and it's an interesting way to connect them together. I like that bus. I thought it was cool. Another thing that we hear is a little teaser of what we might have ahead. They say it's a monster. It's a vessel of the gods. They wanted to be an elixir to make a cure for the petrification disease, or maybe an elixir to make immortality, but it refused, and now it's chained and kind of experimented upon, a corruption of what it once was. So what we're going to meet is not really an outer god in its natural state, but rather deprivation of it, maybe like a broken down version of it. I think it could be akin to Cos in Bloodborne. That would be a good comparison, maybe, on how it's not really something godly, and it's not really something human, but it's something in between, something that has been touched by humans and that has corrupted it. An interesting note, good poem, no metric, but good poem nonetheless, good rhymes. I like the lore that they have spread throughout the DLC. It feels very meaningful, in my opinion. You take a little elevator, but it's not really an elevator. It's like is it a tram? What do you call these things? When you go from one way to another. When you're going, you can jump out and take this ladder to an item that you can see on the right side. It's not a big item, it's not like super worth it, but you still land on the platform that the elevator, I'm gonna call it an elevator, okay? That the elevator was carrying you to. Once you arrive, you can hear our quote-unquote friend, the robot guy, calling for us. But first, let's fall and find a butterfly without overheating, maybe. That would be good. Run! Yeah, there we are. It gives you a full moonstone. Yet another weapon that you can acquire. 2 cards, like in Demon Souls, exploding against each other. And a little surprise afterwards. Plus a chest. Now this chest contains an ancient disc. If you have already gotten the golden record with a disc, like I did in a previous episode, then you can spend all the ancient discs left however you want.
No one? Really? No one's there? No one? Really? No one? There you are, friend. Oh, I've missed your company. Hugs are in order. Just let me... Yes, that's not going to work. A bit broken, this one too. Celebi! You'll never believe what happened. I was readying this new puppet to be your guide, but it broke. Sorry, so very sorry. But perhaps if you go further inside, I can somehow meet you halfway. Sorry, so.
He just wants us to continue looking for him. and he's very glad to hear us. At this point, he's feeling hopeful. There is a lot of expressing human emotions in his quest. It's similar to the quest for the puppet in the base game as well. If you finish going through that loop, you get to the same spot that you were at the beginning, and you can continue on exploring the cave from there. There's a couple of enemies, but nothing as egregious. Honestly, there's nothing as bad as that pit in the rest of the game, probably. I mean, I can think of one other place, but in that place you're very clearly meant to run, so it's certainly not as bad. Here right ahead, we have a dog, and if you're observant enough, you see that there is another one to the left plus a box. So be very careful. You can kind of trick it and punch it in the head a little, maybe. Go get your box while being mindful of the bomb. Everything is a trap. Please don't fall in the pit though, otherwise you'll have to do it all over again. There is a weapon in this box, and what you get is the Arch Guardian's blade and the Arch Guardian's handle. Cool looking weapon, in my opinion. It reminds me for some reason of the base game, the what's his name? The guy that you find at the fight at the convent, and the weapon from him is the one that I've been using my whole entire playthrough, the trident that you get. So I actually think that boss has a trident, the upcoming boss. No spoilers yet, but I actually think the upcoming boss has some sort of like trident encrusted in his head. We have to pay a closer look once he's shown to see it, but yeah, he has something in his head that looks kind of like my weapon. I thought that was a very cool thing. Here's the Arch Guardian blade, what it says. A blade of a prototype weapon prepared for the complete one. Electricity flows within the blade, providing the power of the complete one to the wielder. The alchemist believed that the complete one would appear someday. Guardian of the Order, who wields massive lightning. You're talking about like Seisha, and this is like Seisha's weapon kind of looking. Oh, no wonder it gave me it gave me those vibes. Yeah, that it's a similar similar thing. This is a very cool weapon. A handle of a prototype weapon prepared for the complete one. The high voltage coils installed on it can unleash the power of lightning. To the alchemists, lightning was divine power itself. They believed that this weapon also must embody that power. A gorgeous weapon. We should try all of the weapons at some point. I'm thinking maybe I should do a video for you guys where I showcase them, since I wasn't able to put them on in my playthrough, since I, didn't end up using every weapon or like killing enemies with every weapon. It would be fun to just showcase them, see what they do, since I have them all. I think they're very cool. This little area here killed me a couple of times. Not due to being extremely hard. I actually usually like the door enemies. It was just, yeah, it was just the traps. The bombs would appear out of nowhere, and I really didn't appreciate that. I had a death in there, and then I'm speeding you up to when I did defeat the door mini boss, because he does not respawn, even though I died right after defeating him. It was okay. He himself is not too bad. It's the bombs that are tricky for me sometimes. What you want to do with him is obviously find either the back or a time where he is turning around like that, where you can punch him. As long as you're not hitting the door, you will figure something else. Obviously, I was hitting the doors quite a bit. He's really slow though. It would be hard to die to him, like just one-on-one with him, right? I feel like they know that. He's silly, he fell there. Pretty silly. I got some freebies out of that though. Of him being down there. I thought, what if I leave? Would he chase me? But yeah, no, I need to kill him because I haven't. I tried to string him and it was impossible. I got. The bombs exploded on him, but not on me. That was quite fortunate, a freebie. The unfortunate part was that it wasn't all the bombs. It was just one of them. Did my special, didn't do much damage from the front. Went from the side with some critical. You gotta be fast. Maybe don't do your heavy like I am doing, you know? But if you don't do your heavy, it kind of bounces. I'm serious. It's like the hit doesn't penetrate. Is that right? Anyway, he's down. He gives you a bigger good chunk and a Legion magazine. It's not a bad drop for a little mini boss. And my number one goal was going and picking that ergo. You can hear that the robot is calling for us, by the way. But I was just concerned about these guys here. I wanted to do the bomb, but then I whiffed, and then when I did do it, it exploded on me after it was already in the ground. Life is just not fair sometimes. How do you go ahead and explain that to someone? I had to show that to you. Anyway, I'm actually speeding you up. This time is the time. We don't have to kill that guy anymore, and we can just go in and be peaceful. Nothing's gonna happen to us. Opium. Technically speaking, I did kill everybody that was in there. I just died too. Okay, it wasn't an unsuccess. Okay, I'm just trying to cope.
I'm here, over here.
Here comes the whiff. You know what? Tank the bomb. Why not? Tank the bomb hits. Eat that crap. I was wondering if it was gonna go away. I was fine with that. Good for me. I almost fell out of the bridge. Wouldn't that have been a funny clip? Okay, we talked to the guy who's using puppets one more time.
Wait! I can tell from your expression this is wearing thin. I agree. But please, just listen to my tale. I beg of you. Your objections will fall by the wayside. Please. I am Alexander. I'm an alchemist. A loaded word, I know, but I'm friendly. I promise. I'm rather well known in their ranks. Before all this happened, I was in charge of a crucial experiment. Yes, brains and charm. It's a truly incredible experiment. Its importance is incontrovertible. I just wish I could show you. Well, as I said, these puppets aren't really me. I'm controlling them remotely since, well, you think I want to look like this puppet? I'll have you know that I'm known for brains and beauty. It's true. Perhaps then it was vanity. Perhaps I let my effortless good looks go to my head. Whatever the reason, there was an incident. All right, a date. I was on a date with the daughter of one of the most important alchemists.
Apparently, he didn't approve. So, there was a huge ruckus. Someone put a bag over my head, and when I came to, I was locked in this ridiculously dark place. I would like to get out of here. I'm trapped somewhere so dark, I can't even see my hands in front of my face. And it's so quiet. I think they locked me in a box or a coffin. But I can still think, and that means I'm not dead. Ha! Anyhow, come and get me out, please. This whole guide my savior using a series of available puppets plan isn't working out, is it? But I know you'll still come and save me, because I know what you are, and that's a hero.
Now here's the real reason why we've been talking to him. He gives us a gesture, and gestures are part of the trophies. So completing his quest is part of a trophy. You just have to talk to him. Right ahead we find something called Crab Mysteries, the Spider Cake puppet. But before I read it, I wanted to mention that he says that he was dating the daughter of a very high rank alchemist. Only character that we know that fits that, by the way, is Sophia. Yeah, Sophia, our blue fairy. Alexander the Alchemist immediately becomes a little more of a sussy character for me, for being a high-ranking alchemist, the prestigious alchemist himself. It's like, there is no way to be a good person and be a high-ranking alchemist, right? In any case, we'll learn more about him later on, but it is interesting that he says he got kidnapped and put there after going on a date with potentially Sophia. Makes me wonder if he was kidnapped by Manus out of spite, because we know Manus has a thing for Sophia, right? An unreciprocated thing. Or if it was Valentimus. I think Valentimus is an interesting character, but he's so far back in the lore that we don't get to really put a personality to him of if was he really evil, or was he trying to achieve immortality in a more scientific or humanitarian way. Maybe humanitarian is the word. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. All right, Crab Mysteries, the Spider Cave puppet. The Spider Cave puppet is an urban legend from the time when humans and puppets worked side by side in ergo mines. It tells of a misfit miner who harassed puppets by labeling them with truly horrible names. He had a particular fondness for the puppet called Rockhead. It is said the man treated Rockhead so poorly that if he were human, the puppet would have harbored great resentment towards him. One day, Rockhead rushed into the tunnel where the misfit miner had been working alone. It happened so quickly no one had time to intervene. Soon after, nearby miners heard a terrible scream as the tunnel collapsed. After several days of failed rescue attempts, mining authorities ordered the spider cave closed and sealed. In the aftermath, Puppet replaced all human miners, and everyone believed that ended the ordeal. From that day on, however, strange noise could be heard echoing inside the spider cave. It was the sound of a pickaxe. Even today, humans who worked in the tunnels at the time believed the ghost of the mining puppet lurks behind the wall. They said that killing its tormentor did not sate the puppet's resentment towards humans, and that it continues to seek more victims. They fear that the ever-present ringing of the pickaxe entombed behind the wall is a sign that Rockhead, thirsty for more blood, is digging its way out of the hole to enact revenge on yet more workers. I think this is an interesting side lore, kind of like it doesn't really have to do anything with the main story. They just created a folk tale within the folk tale, and I like that. I like that they make the world feel more complex, and like it has more characters than just, you know, the three people that we're sort of circling around right now. We continue to see more of this story as part of the Cypher's quest, I think. And I also think that that's very much the theme with the Cypher quest, to see other little characters, other little stories that maybe add to the folk of Krat. Yeah. From there, we can take an elevator down. This elevator is a little complex. Here, when you go down, you hear a noise, and Jimmy, you know, wonders what it was that. The noise scared me, right? So I immediately went back up and realized, oh, my way is to a shortcut. There is a very interesting midway up the elevator. Very interesting little hole that you want to check out. If you have played the base game, you'll have an interesting surprise there. And I think that's what we do. I get to my Stargazer, I level up a little, try to be in tippity top shape, and from there we're going back for our rematch? Question mark? Pre-match? Is that a good way to say it? It's all gonna make sense when I get there. The strategy is you take the elevator, right? Take the elevator, you pull it down, and as it's going down, just roll your way into it. Or you can even walk into it a little. And this is where the noise is coming from. You get a shot put along the way. And you do your little exploring. Totally nothing suspicious at all here. Only to... Woo! Only to fall in. See if you recognize these fella. A pre-metamorphic green hunter is his name. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times during the walkthrough that I did not remember that I could parry red moves until very late in the game. This move right here, that's what reminded me, because I was parrying that in my base game, and yeah, it just reminded me that I used to do that. I got sadly suckled. A much better rematch in my opinion than last, and some of the move here with the pre-metamorphic green hunter will be familiar later on with a different boss that's coming up. That made me wonder if the pre-metamorphic green hunter has any relation to the upcoming boss. I thought, surely cannot be a coincidence. I died a little, but it was a fun fight, a fight that I was eager to play. I was like, oh my god, they brought him back. Or I mean, we came back to before. since we fight it in the future, we kind of know that he's not gonna, it's not gonna die, right? So I was wondering what they were going to do about that, or if the one that we fight was like a copy of it in some way. It was interesting. I was very curious about what to do though, because finding a boss here meant that, to me at the time, meant that that was the continuation. So I wanted to check the other place and see if I was missing anything. And I jumped down to check it. And that was a bit silly, so I died an extra time there. And when I got in, I saw that it was kind of an arena as well. So they both felt like a continuation at the same time. I chose to go to the Green Hunter first because it was familiar and I was excited about it. And I said, fuck it, you know? We'll figure out the rest. I was very excited. I don't know. I was very excited to fight it. I died one more time. I switched my grinder first to fire because I remembered the fire was important. I went back in and I missed the hole where I was supposed to fight, by the way. So I was like, alright, I guess I'll do it. And I tried to go down to the obvious mini-boss over here. I was a bit frazzled. Every time the path branches, you know. I didn't go too well with this one though. It was calling me to go to the green monster, and that's what I wanted to do. So now here is the actual winning attempt with Mr. Greenie. Right away, using the string as he's going down. Whenever he's underground, I remember that the best way to go is to just roll around when he stopped moving. I proc on the fire via special, and I keep my distance while he's puking. Probably for the best. Remember that he does corrosive and you would have to go all the way to your weapon to fix it if it got you, basically. Here's a good time to parry. I don't do it, but I'm trying. So at least I know now that I can parry. I land some good parries after that to redeem myself, and I can go home happy. I proc again for the fire while I'm doing my visceral because, you know, that made sense to me. You can see the health pool is not super big for this boss, right? It's like a side boss kind of thing. And then it goes away and your boss bar disappears.
Hey, get back here! I hate to say it, but we gotta let this one go, buddy. We have more urgent goals.
Jiminy giving us a little bit of advice. And we get a little quartz for that fight. It was a fun little fight, right? Turns out this is the actual dead end in the maze. But I had a lot of fun with the fight. I thought it was cool. It was the highlight of the cave for me. Now, as usual, when we get our W, it marks the end of the episode. I think it's a good way to stop on a fun Easter egg side content type of boss. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. I'm trying to film this like if you were here and I could be talking to you. I hope it's fun for you. And if you're watching this trying to collect your trophies, I hope you're finding it useful for collecting the trophies and like good company while you do so. Hopefully you're having a good time with the game. Some of these things were really fun for me. Anyways, I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Thanks for watching. Bye.